Barkley has been visiting the Blue Mesa Reservoir for over 30 years.
It's pretty peaceful when you're out here by yourself.
But the place that once brought him peace lately has had the opposite effect.
It's sad, it's kind of depressing to see it this low.
The Blue Mesa Reservoir is just one of several state parks across Colorado suffering from low water levels.
And as you look around the reservoir, you can see the high water mark and you can see how much lower we are right now.
5 boat ramps typically open in different parts of the reservoir. But now, that number has been reduced to 1.
I live right outside here and I come here all the time. I'm not going to boat as much.
If we have continued low water conditions and we can't use different parts of the reservoir because of not being able to put boats on the water, that could definitely impact the recreational use.
Sandy Snell-Dobert with the National Park Service says the reservoir is currently at 82 feet below full capacity, which doesn't only impact people like Barkley.
These reservoirs are built for water storage, particularly the Blue Mesa Reservoir. So it's always going to be used for that. Recreation is a side benefit.
But if the water levels continue to drop, those relying on the reservoir for irrigation purposes will also suffer.
If everybody is in water shortage, soon you'll have competition for what that water can be used for.
Still, Barkley questions how exactly the reservoir got to this point.
To be like this, there's got to be an explanation, and we're not getting it.
Megan Stackhouse with the National Weather Service says Western Colorado has been in a severe drought since 2017.
And things really started to worsen, obviously, after we had the pretty dismal winter snowpack.
Some portions of Western Colorado were in an exceptional drought, which is the highest drought category.
And after all that rain we got in October, we were able to see some areas improving to just the severe drought. This is where we were at the beginning of October.
While things may be looking up, Stackhouse says it's going to take a lot more than just a few good weeks of rain.
No, you definitely need a lot of steady precipitation.
Many bodies of water, including the Colorado River, which we're at right now, are at extremely low levels. And while many people attribute this to the lack of snowpack in previous years, there is another factor to consider.
The river's divided in half, or nearly so. The lower basin gets slightly more water than the upper basin.
Steve Acquafresca with the Colorado River District says while the drought may be the main issue, we're also having to share 50% of what's left of that water with 6 other states.
The lower basin is California, Arizona, and Nevada. The upper basin states are Colorado, Wyoming, Utah, and New Mexico.
The Colorado River Compact of 1992 requires the upper basin to continue to send the same amount of river water downstream, regardless of drought conditions.
As the river shrinks, our reservoirs have allowed us to supplement the flow of the river and meet our lower basin obligation.
But as the water levels at those reservoirs also continue to decrease, the need for an alternate solution becomes even greater.
If we continue in unmitigated drought, it remains to be seen how we can continue to do that going into the future.
One of those solutions includes coordinating water releases.
Big upstream reservoirs such as Flaming Gorge Reservoir, Blue Mesa Reservoir, Navajo Reservoir, these are what we call the big buckets.
Getting rid of invasive species such as tamarisk, Russian olive, and Chinese elm could also help combat the issue.
These invasive species transpire a great amount of water.
So while the future of Blue Mesa, along with other reservoirs, remains uncertain.
Well, I think if it continues for multiple years, it could definitely have an impact in terms of visitation.
I feel sorry for the people in town too, businesses, because it's going to definitely shy away business.
What remains certain is that something needs to change.
I guess we got to deal with it, or either you do or you don't, and I'm going to slow down a little bit on it.
So people like Barkley can enjoy the peace they once found on the water.
Come on.